winning a competition, not taking the top spot, still putting in a good performance, and I'm hopefully going to be seeing them in action again. So here at the UCI 2022 Urban Cycling World Championships here in Abu Dhabi in the UAE, our Trials Men's Elite 26-inch finals going to be our next action, and it's straight back on the track. There's no rest for our officials. There's no rest for anybody in the commentary boxes as well. We are going to be heading over same format as we go in here, Andre. So basically there's top 6 riders from qualification here in the earlier rounds going up. So the riders taking part, looking at taking away the top spot in the standings here in Abu Dhabi. So Abu Dhabi, the host city here, the first of the cities here in Asia that is part of the UCI's Bike City and the Bike Festival here, playing host to the Urban World Championships. We've got of course the fantastic flatland as well as the trials, and the trials have been absolutely stunning and some amazing action, some great crowds, and it's been fantastic here. As the sun has blazed down, it's turned into evening, and as you can see, there is one man who's really dominated the World Championships, a man that my co-host here, Andre Burton, the 6 times national champion, knows very well. It's Jack Carthy.
I do indeed, yeah. I've trained with Jack quite a lot. So Jack's actually won 4 world champion titles, and he's going to be defending his world champion title from last year as well.
So we are going to be seeing these riders out on the course, and let's take a little bit of a look on to the course here as we head out into our Trials 26-inch competition.
We are at the trial section for the upcoming World Championships here in Abu Dhabi. This is the first section based on the, local elements, like the sun is the most element that you can find here in Emirates. So we have created this section using precast concrete. It's a section with the rider have to going up to this small surface and going down one sector to the other sector. This is the palm tree section. For me, is the most beautiful section here in Abu Dhabi. You use palm tree. Never before we have worked with this kind of material, so it's completely new for everyone. So we have created different position of the locks, like a picado. So they offer super technical and sometimes scary movements, like this hook. I can jump directly from the top and going down. So for me, it's one of the most beautiful sections here of the world. This boat is not for sailing, neither for fishing. It's for trials, the World Championship. This is a nice waterfall on my back. This is the 5 section. This we have created a lake where water plays an important role. Also, the sun. This is the 5 section. Will be decisive to know the new world champions.
As you can see, we have a talented panel of commissaires. Commissaires are basically the referees, the officials who are charged with making sure that everybody not only adheres to the rules, but also with making sure everybody goes through the sections. They have to go in and through between the 2 markers. Each gate, the entry and exit point, has to be passed through by the bike, and it's an incredibly tough job. It's a job I certainly wouldn't want to do. I'm sure Andre is probably the same view here today.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a pretty tough job, and these guys really know what they're doing, and they watch incredibly closely all of these riders. So here we go. We've got the start list. Starting with in 6th place from the qualification will be Oliver Widman, then Noah Cordona, Danny Baron, Marty Vierda, Vincent Hermant and Jack Carthy qualifying in 1st place. So they're going to come out, the first rider out will be Oliver Widman. Oh,
In
sorry.
fact, we're going to have a little
I'm
bit of
sorry,
changeover on the order by the looks of it here. So here we go. It is going to be a little bit of a change around on the order, and that is going to be Marty who's going to take the start first. So Marty up on to the stage here.
Yep, so Martí Villeda from Team Spain. He's a really, really good young and up-and-coming rider. Himself and Danny Baron really pushing it for Team Spain. They were second and third in the last World Cup. So yeah, they were second and third place in the last World Cup. And then next up we have Oliver Widman from Germany, who's been pushing himself really hard. Stoked for him to be in the finals here. We've been training quite a lot together. Captain Smooth, they call him, because he is seriously smooth. Wait until you see him. All right then, look at him getting his zen on there. Absolutely getting his zen on. This is fantastic. Good luck, Ollie. I hope he does really well.
That mental preparation is key, isn't it, here, Andre? I mean, you're being called onto the stage, you're being hyped up to the crowd. So we see our next rider from France up here.
Noah Cordona, very powerful rider. This guy has got some seriously big moves on him. I've seen him training. He's from Montpellier, down in the south of France. And yeah, he's had some fantastic results. I think he's going to be fighting for a podium position here.
Well, that's it. I love your predictions early on. This is great to see. I'm not going to put my name to any of them on the way through. I'm going to rely on your expertise. But we can see it's not just Spain with strength in depth, because France is next rider on stage.
Yep, so we've got Vincent Hermans. Vincent is one of the only rider that is actually older than me on the course. And he's 38 at the moment, and he's been in, I think, pretty much every final in the World Championships. And he's 3 times former world champion as well. So not just a one lucky win, he's literally dominated the field. He's been multiple World Cup winner and French champion as well. Then next up we have our second qualified rider from the semi-finals, all the way from Spain, Daniel Baron, coming up onto the stage. And Danny and Marty have been pushing each other and training hard together, and like I said, he's had second in the World Cups. He'll be hoping that he can, well, maybe Jack will make a mistake, or maybe he can just outride Jack and bring it in, bring that jersey back to Spain.
And that means there is just one more rider to bring up, somebody who has won the title 4 out of the last 5 years, also a bronze medalist.
4 years, he lost it once to Sergio Longueras, actually.
Yeah, four in the last 5, yeah.
He very narrowly missed it out there in Chengdu. So Jack Carthy just going for his 5th world title, which will mean he's won it more times than any other 26-inch elite rider in history if he wins his 5th title here today. So a little bit of pressure there.
Yeah, I'm glad he can't hear you and just ramping it up, although I'm sure everybody's reminded.
He said his goal is a minimum 10 for his career, so you know, he's setting his sights high.
That's some statement. That is some statement.
I mean, yeah, he is one of the few people you can see make a huge mistake and really fight his way back. Seen some outriding performances from him. The guy is a different kettle of fish. So, but these guys, I mean, Vincent is incredible, very experienced, really powerful. On these sections, I really think it's quite an open stage though, because it's going to be quite easy if you make a slight mistake. I actually think Jack's going to be under more pressure than if it was, you know, if it was a higher score or a lower scoring round as such. You know, he's going to be under so much pressure, and he's going out last. So if everybody's kind of like on high marks in front of him, he's going to be under so much pressure to not make a mistake on these little on moves that he might think, it's not too bad, but you know, he's got to really concentrate. He's got to dig in. So these guys are just walking the course. Before, earlier on this morning, they will have walked through, looked at all of the gates, got it all in their head, and then before they start competing, they just have a little walk through of each section. And as they progress through the course, as one rider's riding this one, the others will be looking at the next one, preparing themselves for the next section. So you've got to have a really good mental map of what's going on.
Interestingly, the one rider who's not doing that is Jack. Jack Carthy from Great Britain, rolling around the sides there, not taking the look at the course, just pulling the moves down the side, keeping
there's
hold
two
upon the
reasons for
line.
that. One, Jack will have such a mental map of this, he'll know every centimetre of every single beam. So he'll have every option and possibility planned out. He's very, very methodical, but also he's out last. So he's going to get to watch all the other riders go through, and if they make any mistakes, he'll know where they are. He'll be paying attention to everything. But also, this guy trains like 4 times a day, so you know, he's going to be riding so much each day that, you know, he knows what he's doing. He wants to stay really warm for this throughout this competition. He's going to be riding in between each section, really trying to stay warm because he works on a high body temperature.
Well, he's going to get that here today. The temperature here in Abu Dhabi might drop, but we're still in the 30s here as we set off. So here we go, Marty on to the course of Spain, the first rider to take to the first distance. Remember, we have 5 sections to go. The maximum score on the way through of 60 in each section. Maximum points to a total of 300. It'll be tough to achieve.
Yeah, so this will be very interesting to see. You can see he was going to go for the gap straight across, just decided to drop down. You can see the sand there flying off of his tyres. It's really, it's a little bit like more damp in the evening as well. It kind of sticks to your tyres a little bit more than it does during the day. It's still incredibly warm, like you're saying out there. So it's still quite a big challenge. Just from the sand up onto here. Now, the first really, really tricky move of the competition. We saw a couple of 20-inch riders earlier on attempt this one. So here we go. Marty lining up. Huge gap. Now the landing is at kind of a 45-degree angle from the takeoff and serious slope a long way across. But Marty Vieira making it look very straightforward. That is really, really impressive. Very, very long gap that. So here we go. He's going to have to try and stay as steady as possible on the back wheel. Line up dead centre of that pipe on the floor. Side up to the back tyre. And lining his way up. Now on a 26-inch bike compared to the 20s, it's much, much harder to try and keep those axles between all of the gates as you're moving through, so they can't swing the front wheel or back wheel around those markers. The axles have to go dead straight through the markers, and you can see the commissaires there just watching every little bit to make sure, his axle's gone through, the centre line of the bike has gone through. So here we go, he's on 50 points, he's got 8 seconds to get out at the end. Pushing to the front tyre. Marty, first rider out, 60 points, but Marty Vieira.
So full marks there on this run through, doing a great job, and very much going to be an interesting battle as this moves on. But he set that marker down, and we're not going to give you an exposure if you haven't watched the 20 inch. You're just joining us here at the Urban World Championships. This has been a tough course. It has challenged the riders in all of the categories in the trials competition here, and a great run to start us off here. Andre looked like he had this basically totally under control. Nothing really that phased him at all.
Yeah, I'd say that was a pretty much perfect run. I mean, like he has been third in the last, I think it was the last World Cup in Vic, or not the last, the one before in Vic in Spain. The same organisers as this competition here, and he was third on the podium there. And here we go. Oliver Woodman starts his attack on the World Championships final here in Abu Dhabi, the Urban Cycling World Championships. And here we go. He's lining up for the first major move. So 20 points so far. First through the first 2 gates. He's going to switch up to his back tyre. Going to get really focused. Really push as hard as possible. Come on, Oliver. Here we go. Oh, so smooth. Ah, yes. That is why they call him Captain Smooth. Here we go.
See, he was focused on that. The eyes were just laser beams into the top, into that landing.
Absolutely. He rides incredibly focused. Yes. Just to try and keep those nerves down. Riding really solid on his Kruger's bike there. Up on the back tyre. Yes. He's got to move fast and smooth. Oh, very nice.
He kept that momentum going, didn't he?
Yeah, he's flying through. He's got 30 seconds left. He's not even having a rest. Up to back tyre. Front to back switching. Oh! He nearly lost the point at the end there.
That was so
20 seconds
close.
left. I don't know why he rushed so much at the end, because he actually had loads and loads of time.
He smashed through that run back, didn't he? He was on a roll, and he just kind of kept that momentum going, but then it nearly cost him as he came off the top of that last pillar. That really got close, because he came off sideways. He could have lost that.
Exactly. So if his axle was slightly further back when he came off sideways, that would have been 5 points. He would have lost, or he would have lost the 10 points in the last gate. So yeah, very lucky there to stay on that. Look at that focus. Absolutely inch perfect.
And having to hop his way
hopping
back
through the sand at the finish, yeah, because you can't pedal, you just get no traction. You just have to power through. So Noah Cordona for Team France, all the way over from Montpellier. So he's pretty much used to this heat. It's pretty much what he trains in every day over there. Big gap down to that post. Nice and accurate. Moving very swiftly through the sectors of this first section here. Wheel up. So he is known for being incredibly powerful. I've trained with him again, like all over the place, and he's done some huge moves. This guy has got some power. So here we go. Getting himself in the right zone. Here we go. Come on, Noah. Big burst of power. Look at that. He made that look so straightforward. Apart from the look on his face, it was the only thing that gave it away that it was actually pretty difficult. He looked quite worried there, but his body would suggest otherwise. So much power in those legs. Here we go. Dead centre on the back tyre. If you look at it down there. Yeah, keeping that front wheel really close to that pillar to keep the front axle in as he moves up. Pushing the front wheel. Putting that front wheel nice and close through there. Now he's got to keep moving. He's got 30 seconds left. So he needs to keep moving. 25 seconds. So Oliver was out the end by this point. So he's really got to get moving. That's it for 50 points. 13 seconds. Here he goes. Come on Noah. Got to get moving. You can't mess about. Has he made it? Have they given it to him? Nope. He says no, they've given him 50. He did get out the end on time.
Yep, they're showing the stopwatch there, so the confirmation, you can't argue with the clock there. Well, I'm sure he could, but he's not going to be able to. And this gap jump here, there's a big difference, isn't there? But because a 26-inch wheel bike, so close to the edge. That 26-inch bike is longer, isn't it? So there's a little bit easier to span the gap to get across the gap jump, but it's a downside elsewhere.
Yeah, well, the downside is actually that it doesn't necessarily help so much with gaps. It depends on the actual individual gap, because although the bike's longer, it means that the handlebars are further forwards. So you can only actually reach your hands so far forward. So if it's longer, the back wheel technically would be further back. Depends on an individual person's body's makeup. So here we go. Vincent Amant's one of them, well, by far the most experienced rider, I would say, out there on the field right now. So yeah, he was third in 2021 over in Vic at the World Championships, the last World Championships. So this guy is super consistent, always in the finals. And recently just had a baby as well this year with Perrin, who is one of the top female riders as well. She'll be hopefully back to riding soon. And here we go, nice and accurate. Now Vincent making that gap look very commonplace, super confident. Still riding incredibly well. There we go, lining up now. How's he doing for time? 40 seconds roughly left. So he's going to need to get a bit of a move on now. So this next bit, you've really got to keep moving. This is where it gets kind of tricky, because actually it's pretty tiring. All the time you're on the brakes, constantly moving, constantly trying to control that balance, control the bike. So he's on 40 points, 20 seconds left. Is it going to be enough to try and get a full 60 points? Here we go, back wheel, down. Here we go, he's got 8 seconds, come on. You can hear Pep Perrin in the background, who is also his coach. Just pushing him, come on, up to back tyre, oh! No, is going to be 50 points for Vincent, but it's only 10 points off. So all to play for. So we've got Oliver Widman and Marty Vieira so far on 60 points. Vincent and Noah Cordona on 50 points. So here we go. We have Danny Baron, followed by Jack Carthy next.
So 2 more riders to go. Great run here, but ran out of time. And interestingly, it was our first 2 starters that scored perfect scores on the way through there. And is that because the course is going to, because of the sand, is it deteriorating, or is it just suiting them?
I just think it's suiting them, and it's also a bit of confidence as well. I think they've gone out and gone like, do you know what, I'm not going to hang around. So they've just kind of gone, right, I'm just going to attack it. You know, they've got nothing to lose. So I think that's a bit of their mentality. But Danny Baron, I think we're going to see him move very, very quickly. He's really known for moving fast through sections. He's really, really fit. Still really young as well. Got a long career ahead of him. So let's see how he gets on. Can he nail this absolute whopper of a gap? So lining up.
So you just see Jack Carthy watching on here. He's going to be following through. He's watching every single move, isn't he?
Like I said, that's why he wasn't walking earlier, because he watches when they ride. He knows what he's doing.
He's been in this position plenty of times before, hasn't he?
Yeah. Considering Jack's just 25.
Scary. He deserves to be older the amount of title he's taken and how well he's riding. But he's up against it because we are seeing some pace with 40 seconds on the clock still, 30 points in the bag. But we see mistakes on here, and it is easy to get this wrong. They are so slippery as you come here. One wrong misplace, and it could all be over. But so he's going to get in and through this first section. And let's see how tight those scores are at the end.
Oh, here we go. So that's 40 points so far. He's got 17 seconds. Oh, sorry, 50 points last gate. I think he's going to get this. Come on. Switch to back. Pin that front wheel. Oh, the front wheel just slid. And a bit of a tumble. Is he all right? He's gone straight into the concrete onto his back there. And his dad's just run over to make sure he's okay.
He landed onto that bit, so as he came off, you can see that green pillar behind that just served as the take-off point. Just see here.
So his front wheel, he's pinned it. The thing is there, so what he's done is he's pinned it, and then to try and get to give more space for the back wheel, he let the front brake out slightly and then pulled it again. And because he's not on the edge of it, he's actually on the top of it at that point. When you pull the brake, it's just slid forwards. So he's lost friction. So 50 points. So 2 riders so far on 60 points. Let's see what Jack can do already through the first gate. And he knows that he needs 60 points on this. Let's see how he does. Now he's going to be under a lot of pressure to not go wrong here. This is interesting. I thought he would have tried and gone straight through for the gap. Up to back wheel. Straight across. All right, here we go. Hold it together, Jack. Come on. So, the big gap. I would think for Jack this should be pretty good. He's looking, dare I say it, slightly nervous. But, come on, Jack. Very focused. No worries, staying on the back tyre all the way through. So 58 seconds left. Got 30 points, he's halfway through. Pedal up technique along that beam, nice and smooth. Here we go, yes. Back tyre, 1, 2, 3, yes. Here we go, he's checking the time as he's going through. Keeping a good checks as he goes through. Gate number 5, I think he's timed that perfectly well to get there set for the last gate. Knows that he's got enough time to get this last section, last gate of the section. And like I said earlier on, it's actually quite close for the front wheel. Yeah, no worries for Jack. Out with 10 seconds left.
And popped his way off there, didn't he? He didn't even bother touching the sand. Straight through. He's absolutely pumped with that. Loved that on his way in and through.
He timed that very well. Very well indeed. So, 3 riders all on 60 points. So a little quick look back at Jack's run there.
can see the tyre deforming as it lands on top of the pillar on the very crest there.
Yeah, so quite often we get people saying, like, oh, your tyres look really flat, but actually they're not really that flat. It's just the fact that we're riding on little tiny points. So of course, instead of the pressure being spread out over especially 2 wheels and on flat floor, we're on 1 wheel and on a tiny point. So it compresses in. So all of these tyres and bikes, everything is specific for trials. So the sidewalls on these tyres are super, super thick. So they massively reduce the risk of pinch flats. So hopefully you don't get so many punches.
So here we go, next rider out and on to section 2, sorry, first rider. So Marty very quickly in 10 points on the scoreboard already. Let's see how it goes on this, Andre. He's got to really keep this together, but he did a great first section, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He was riding really, really well. He knows that on this kind of course, if he keeps his head together, I think he's capable of a very, very good result. Now that move there, you can't see from this angle, but from the other side, that rock is like a couple of centimetres wide. So you have to be absolutely perfect on the top of that. Absolutely perfect tyre placement. And Marty flying through gate 3 as well, onto this really tricky gate 4. So he's going to be going up to back wheel on this upslope rock at the bottom, throwing his way over to the left-hand side. See Jack closely watching there in the background as well. Back wheel. Oh no, Marty! Oh, that just shows just how easy it is. Just a slight misplacement of the front tyre. That is such a shame for Marty there. Oh, mate, feel for him there.
You can just see landing heavily there, just putting the bar plug back in the end of the handlebar. All the ends of the handlebars are plugged up.
Yeah,
you can have a really nasty injury if you
I
get
tell
that
you what,
in you.
You know, I used to ride about bar ends, and after seeing the crashes yesterday on this rock section, and there was like Julian Sainz, who was second in the World Championships last year. He fell yesterday really badly, and if he didn't have bar ends in, it could have been even worse. He had to retire, unfortunately, because it was badly injured enough. So here we go. Oliver Widman starts section 2, hitting that front tyre on the first gate. Riding round. This is a big overhanging pedal up. What you can't see from this angle is actually it's undercut on the other side, so it's kind of shoulder high, about 1.45 m, 1.50 m high. Straight into the centre line of that rock. Saw a couple of people in the semi-finals just flying off the side of that rock. Not a lot of grip. It's been very, very, very accurate. Here we go. So front tyre. There we go. You can see from this angle, he's got to get, as he switches up through here, just watch his tyres. He's got to be absolutely inch perfect on this. He's got to just shunt onto that and then drop straight through. Nicely done, Ollie. Smooth as you like. Here we go. Another hook, putting that front tyre right over. Light work of that gate. 30 points so far on this section. Now, if he gets over this, he will overtake Marty so far. Up to back wheel. Puts his front wheel over. Now, he's a left-footed rider. So, as you can see, he's put his foot down. He's just trying to compose himself.
There was a little bit of a move of the foot there, wasn't it? You're not meant to move that. Will you get penalised? It's on 2 red lights now.
You can move the foot, but you can't lift it and put it back down again. So you can see on 2 red lights. So the first one's where he hit his pedal. The second one's where he put his foot down. He can twist or slide the foot slightly if he's kind of controlling his balance. But if you lift it, put it back down again, you get another point. So here we go, 40 points. So he's overtaken Marty Vieda so far. 10 points ahead of him there. Oh, and he's flown on that last rock. Oh, Oliver, that's huge. Huge. This guy's an animal. Come on, Ollie.
I think he's ruined that foot down though, isn't he? Because he's pleased he got it back afterwards, and he's got right the way through the section. They're only dropping only a few points. They're only dropping 10 points. He goes into the lead, so it's 110 points in total. He's got Marty behind him on 90 points, but still 4 riders to go. And here we go. Widman up on to the top, very smoothly over there. But you can just see just how much power he's having to put into this.
Yeah, so he's got a really, really cool style. He's got what we call a 20-inch style, a 20-inch technique. So when he pedals at something, he basically compresses at the last moment, and all the power comes from the last quarter of a pedal stroke. So as his good foot comes in, he lifts and drives with it all at the same time. Whereas most of these other riders, especially Noah, you'll notice he actually lifts half a pedal stroke earlier just there. he lifts half a pedal stroke earlier. It's a completely different technique. So it's a very different way of riding. Most riders can do a degree of both, but they'll definitely have one favoured technique. And of course on a 26-inch you're going to use that technique more. Yeah, you can see that absolutely spot on onto that tiny little piece of rock. So here we go. Noah needs to try and get as many points as he can in this section after missing the last 10 points in the first section. Here we go. I will. So through to gate number 3. Let's see if he can get it. Now he's right-footed, so it's a little bit nicer for him. Here we go. From Montpellier. Has he got it? Oh, just overshooting it. Now it's really interesting that we saw that it was difficult for a left-footed rider, but I kind of thought he would get through that. But just sliding out. So 2 points, that's okay. He's only lost 10 points.
So scoring 30 points at the moment. He's got to keep on scoring, he's got to keep on moving. He's got to overtake Widman. 110 points for Widman.
Yeah, so if he can just hold that there. Yep, switch the bag, and then he's got this one last huge move. This is really, really high. Don't think you can tell on your screens at home, but this is such a huge pedal up. The bottom of that rock where his back tyres landing is literally the height of my shoulder. It is massive. So 50 points for Noah Cordona there, so he's just behind Oliver Widman, just by 10 points. Fantastic ride in there from Noah Cordona. Just that one gate number 4 giving everybody, sorry, gate number 3 giving everybody a bit of a headache so far. Be interesting to see how these next guys get on with it.
Yeah, and you can just see the frustration creeping in. So it's all about keeping your cool, but maybe it's time for an experienced head.
Here we go, talking about experienced. One very experienced person is Vincent Hermance, who has been at the top of the trials game for eternity, I think.
It just feels like it's slowly getting old, mate.
I think when I started riding, he was already world champion, actually. Here we go, back wheel and across. All right, so come on, Vincent. Really experienced, really strong rider. It's really quite incredible that he's managed to keep up with this kind of new school as the sport's evolved and changed over the years. He's changed his techniques and styles, managed to keep up with how the sections are built now. Perfectly up onto the points.
His first medal.
3, there we go.
There you go, first medal back in Leger at 2004.
2004 UCI.
So that shows you the UCI World Championship
18 years ago. There you go. Here it is. Oh, look at that! Now that's experience. He felt the front tyre sliding and just lifted straight away. Just instant reaction. That is experience. Just like, go. He knew his momentum was forwards. He's just got to lift and get through it. Really swift front to back through the first part of gate 5. Now this is 5B. So actually, although you see these little tags, each one is labelled. It can be 1A, 1B, 1C, or it can be just 1. So he's gone through 5A, which is the rock before, and then this rock is 5B. He has to complete both without putting feet down before he gets the points. Oh yes, well done Vincent, big move there. All right, last move, 20 seconds left. I think he can get this. Come on Vince. Big move, yes, straight up on top, muscles it through. 10 seconds left. Another 60 points for Vincent. So for the time being, he jumps just ahead of Oliver Widman. Nothing in it so far between those two.
So with 4 competitors through, 20 points separates first to 4th place, and a great run here by Vincent, and that experience showing us it all started to go a little bit wrong for him. It was an instant reaction, wasn't it? Absolutely instant reaction. I mean, to have that kind of reaction does take time to build up. And next up we've got Jack Carthy in just a second. He's going to start his, Danny Baron is coming in next. So let's see what Daniel Baron can do. To stay in contention, he's going to really want to try and get that full 60 points. Already dropping 10 points on section number 1, so he's got to get it in here. He's got to make this count all the way We won't want to drift any further off from that lead.
No, absolutely not. I mean, really, in the last 3 years, this guy has just improved his riding so much. It's unbelievable. And of course, his sister was also has been world champion from last year. So Vera competing in the women's category as well, and they train together and push each other all the time. Great influence on each other.
Yeah, I bet that's a real interesting family dynamic between the pair of them.
You've got to think the family gets a bit annoyed with bikes, do you know what I mean?
I bet the dining room
Here we go,
table
come on,
says,
Danny.
oh!
He was so close. That was a really interesting way of doing it as well, throwing his bike round to the left to try and keep the pedal high. Nearly made it, but so now he's going to be aiming for the 50 points. He's lost the points for gate number 4. Sailing through 5A there, onto 5B. This big point. Now he's got to get the front tyre slightly to the right hand side. There's a little point. See it there, he just got that perfect. You can't quite see from that perspective, but that's actually a little bit taller than I am. So it's probably about 6'6", about an inch higher than me.
It's a good job you can't see him against the tape measure, that's for sure. That's like your tape measure. He nails that last bit on the way through there. 50 points.
Very nice.
100 points in total. That puts him in 3rd position with one more rider to go. It is, of course, Jack Carthy, the defending champion, as the rest of the riders already looking ahead here. And this checking the course, that is so key, isn't it? And you've got to wonder now. We saw him go in, you said he was taking just a different approach on some of these lines, but it didn't quite pay off on that one key move.
He got really close. I think he probably could have gone more for the way that, I mean, more like you would do it as a right-footed rider and kind of jump straight over, because there's a little edge for the back wheel. I'm very intrigued to see how Jack gets on with this. So here we go. Jack doing a slightly different approach to the other guys, going at a bit of an angle and turning up through those markers. So 30 seconds through his time, moving pretty swiftly, and here we go, he's onto this tricky corner move. Now he's a left-footed rider, we haven't seen anybody clear this move just yet. So come on Jack, he knows that if he can get 60 points on this section, he's going to be keeping a very nice, he just touched his pedal there. So what he's done is very cleverly, he knows that putting a foot down there and getting set perfectly and moving on is worth it. But 50 points, if he can keep 50 points on this, doesn't matter anyway.
But he does need all 50 to go level with our leader, so he's got to get it right from here on in.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tight. Like I said, going out last, he knows that he's got to, what he's got to do, he's got to keep up with everybody else. So he's got to get this last move. 30 seconds left, so he's ahead on time, a little bit faster than everybody else so far. And this massive pedal up, making it look like a curve. Just straight out the end. There we go, big lift.
Yeah,
that's Kenny Belay, 4 times world champion there in the background as well. He retired competing a couple of years ago.
And Kenny, and a real legend on the scene, isn't he? He's one of these people who's just knows the sport inside out, and not just a multi-time but world champion. I mean, he's got so many medals. He's probably going to need a whole room for it. Never mind a mantelpiece.
I've seen his room, and he does have a whole room for his medals and trophies, and a whole hallway for all of his world champion jerseys. Yeah, I'm not sure how he manages to get up the hallway with his head being that big.
You said that.
He won't mind. I've known him for a long time.
So here we go.
Incredible rider. Here we go, Marti Vierda. So first rider we're going to see through section number 3, and we've got this big kicker. So first, he's already through the first 2 gates, clean, 20 points to his name so far on this section. So big bit of power on the pedals, lift, and he just missed the kick off of the ramp there. So this kicker is A, pretty shallow, and B, it's incredibly close to the face of this. So I was wondering when I walked the course earlier how it's actually going to pan out. You can see there that as you try and lift, it just kind of, the wall is so close, that move is so close. Marty doesn't look very happy there. He knows that
That's two
He's messed it up a little
sections in a
bit.
row, though, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
remember, previous section he only scored 30 points. He had a great section 1. Section 2 went all wrong for him, and section 3 has got it even more wrong once again, and that is.
But it's such a difficult move. I'm interested to see how everybody gets on. You can see from that angle just how shallow that kind of kicker is. I mean, it's barely a kicker because it's so close. I'm big up to front. Right, Oliver Woodman starts section 3, flying through the first gate, picking up 10 points, and then motoring through the sand there. Looked like he was riding across the desert there for a second. This awkward pedal up move, hook in the front wheel. Yes, well done, Ollie. Awesome move there, silky smooth. Now, can he get this kicker line done? Here we go, back wheel starting right on the edge of the run up. Big bit of power. Oh, look at that!
And you questioned it could be done. He's just made it look easy.
Oh God, he just, it was like he just kind of went, oh, and then he's on top. Fantastic. Yes, so smooth. That was almost as smooth as Ollie in a nightclub.
And that is that is not what Marty needed to see, was it, either?
No.
Marty having failed on there, just to see it being done so smoothly,
Yeah,
that
exactly.
is not going to do his head any good. And that is really going to mess with his head.
Yeah.
If he wasn't already in trouble, that could make a big difference.
Exactly, and Martin needs to keep his head together, and that's where Oliver's doing really, really well here. He's keeping his head on, he's keeping really focused, and that's what he needs to do. I can't believe he just rolled up that kicker so well.
Well, he's
big gap across.
Only dropped 10 points so far, remember, in the first 2 sections, so clearly on form, and at the moment,
Yeah,
in the
here we go.
leaderboard.
So he's definitely keeping the pressure on everybody at the moment. Lining up. Yes, absolutely, putting in the power. Here we go. So he's back to this, or he's up to this last move. It's a huge hook, a really short run up. So here we go. Has he got enough power? Here he goes. Oh, he just went to pedal, so he can get 50 points. It's a solid effort. There's his trainer, Carol Serwin. Life Cycle Trials.
So close there. I mean, he nailed
So close.
the halfway marker, going up and over, and had that absolutely done. We thought
I'll
that
tell you
last move, it was so similar as well.
Yeah, he did so close. He was so close to getting that last move. I actually thought he would have got it there. But that kicker, look at that. Look at the way he's just eked it up, and the front tyre went over just enough to pull the back wheel over. I mean, I can't believe the bike actually even fits on that. Like, that's really good.
That was millimetres perfect. There was hardly anything below the bush guard and the
Yeah.
chain wheel there was there as he
Pure
went
reaction. I think he actually thought he'd kind of failed it for a second. Then went, oh, hang on, it's going. Yeah, it's amazing. All right, Noah Cordona. Let's see what he's got. Half pedal up to front wheel, and then across the desert to gate number 2. Here we go, lining up. So they've actually, you can see they've fully dug a hole there right across the floor. Try and get this, make this move a little bit more possible. Let's move straight forwards to back wheel, dropping down, and he's up to the 3rd gate on this section. It is all still very, very close for these riders. Here we go, Noah Cordona going for this super shallow, super close kicker. What's his reaction speed like? Oh, and he tried to do it as a pedal up instead of actually using it as a bunny hop normal ramp style. He tried to do it as an actual pedal up. So what he's done is basically accelerated, kept pedaling up the ramp and leaned back. So it'll be interesting to see if he does it again on the 2nd try. Yes, he does. But no, he's not going to quite make it. That is such a shame. No Cordona there with 20 points. So Oliver is so far out from the commanding lead.
That is a key movement, isn't it? That one piece there at the moment is a massive separator here.
Yeah, this could be a huge separator. I mean, the difference between getting sort of 50 points and 20 points, you know, it's a 30-point difference in just this one section. You know, you can see there, using that technique, it's going to be really, really hard. I did wonder if 26-inch riders would use that. The 20-inch bikes are a little bit shorter, so if you pump through those on a kicker, you can kind of pull back a little bit more like a BMX. But on the bigger mountain bike wheels with a high bottom bracket, low front end, you can see there, using that technique, it's difficult. He needed to pull the front wheel further back and loop the back wheel out on the way up, more like a motorbike.
And he was desperate to get through, even if he had to put a foot down,
Yeah.
because it unlocks all of those points on the other side.
Absolutely. Now, Vincent, like we've been saying, very experienced rider, straight through the first 2 gates, 30 seconds gone now as he goes for gate number 3. Let's see what he's got. Pulls the front. Oh my God! Vincent, what are you trying to do, you maniac? Oh my God, that was awesome. I'll tell you what, if he held that, that would have been literally the move of like the year. That was awesome. Let's see, I reckon he might even go for it again. He's trying to lift, push to the front. Oh, he's gone for the hook. That is a shame because he dropped 1 on there, so he won't get the points for that gate.
But he's through.
He's through, and he's got a minute left to try and get to the end of the section. And I know that he's very, very good at hooks, so the last move on this section I think he can do.
He's got to get there. He's got to get there in time.
Yeah, he's got to get a move on now. Doesn't want to be hanging around too much. Up to the back tyre. You've got to be really accurate on the 26-inch bike. That's actually a very, very short gap. So you've got to really be very accurate. You can't kind of land and go. You've got to land, make sure you're dead right, and then lift straight up. And this big gap across. Much, much harder than Vincent's making it look there, trust me. Actually talking about Kenny there, watching the crowd and going around with Jack, him and Vincent competing for a very, very long time against each other, back and forth with world titles. Right, here we go. He's on to the last gate. He's got 15 seconds. He's got no time to recover. He's going to have to go full power. Come on, Vincent. Oh, and just no power left. He's a little bit angry there. I think he's saying bananas or something.
Yeah, he's going to be saying something. That's probably a good job. We can't quite hear. Hopefully not. Apologies to anybody if they have been offended on the way through. As you can imagine, the emotion is running high. There's so much at stake after having unlocked the section coming up over the top. It was his second attempt, which it just shows. I mean, he's expended a lot of energy on attempt 1 and then went into 2. He then continued onwards, and he really needed that score. He's still in second place. He's only 10 points off the lead, so he might be frustrated.
Very close. But Oliver Widman staying ahead of Vincent Hermance after 3 sections, but incredibly close. So here we go. Danny Baron into section 3. So a different approach. We saw the other guys actually pedal forwards off the floor, and Danny decided to go. Like I said, he's a left foot rider, so he decided to go a slightly different, more status approach up the side. Going for this kicker line. Let's see. And he's decided, it looked like he'd already committed to putting that foot down. He was like, I know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go for the 50 points and keep that pressure on.
And strategically, I guess that means if you know that you're going to get your foot on, if you're planning to put the foot down on there, you can take a different approach
as
to
he
it.
ran in, you see as he came up the kicker, he was slightly turned to the to the left-hand side, which means he was ready to put his non-biased foot, so his right foot up onto the top of the platform. And then, pinning that and switching there, nice, no worries for Danny there. So, you can see he just kind of set up biased. He was like, I'm going to do this, I want to get the 50 points. You know, he wants to have a good shot at this last move, and he's moving really quickly. He's well ahead on time of where we saw the others at this point. So he needs to not slow down. So he's going for a slightly different approach again. So he's going off the rock there. Oh yeah, but no worries. This guy's got power for days. So 30 seconds left. He's 15 seconds ahead of what Vincent had. So you can have a little recovery. Little kick in from the sand, and then a big rotation. So, kick. Yes, he's done it!
He allows it,
there
doesn't
it
he?
is. We've seen it done, ladies and gentlemen.
So second place, or tied for second place, 150 points apiece. There, that was a really strategic run on his way in there, wasn't it?
That was amazing.
I mean, smart riding to take the option of going for the 50 there.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it was a pretty wise decision because that kicker is a very, very dicey move. And I mean, he's playing like he wants to stay in contention for the win. You can see that last move there. Now that hook is literally about the same height as my head, so that is a long way up. I'm not that short. Thank you very much, Matt. It is a long way up. Like I said, a couple of years ago, that would have been world record height. So Jack just pedaling across the desert there. He makes his way to gate number 2. 10 points so far on this section, I believe. No problem going through that. Straight into the kicker and rolls straight up. The crowd going absolutely mental. Like, hang on a minute, I looked away for a second and he's just over it. That is Jack's trained a lot of kickers, and
Are you
he's
sure they didn't lower that on the way
incredibly
through?
confident. I
It's
know.
like somebody's dropped it down.
I think he's riding a different course. Look at the time. He's like 35 seconds ahead of everybody else. So you just got to hold it together now and try and keep that lead. Here we go. So he's going for this takeoff of the rock on the floor. 1 minute 15 left on the clock, and now he can just afford, hopefully, to just chill out a little bit and just be nice and solid as he moves his way through this next bit. Just needs to chill out and make his way through. 1 minute left. He's got nearly half his time left, and he's almost on the last gate. On 2 wheels, nice and smooth to the floor, and then lining straight up.
Remember, nobody has cleaned this section yet. Nobody's got right the way through in one with full score.
And he's got 40 seconds. And I tell you what, he's the Guinness World Record holder for the forward hook for this exact move. So, of course, there it is. Boom. Jack Carthy, 60 points again. He jumps into the lead, 10 points ahead. Was that 20 points?
It's going
To
to
updates, maybe.
be. No, I think it's going to be 10 points. We just wait for the scores to do
I think it is.
double check
Let's have a look.
on the way through.
He dropped 10 on the previous one, so yeah, 170. So I believe he's going to be 170. Oliver Widman, second place so far on 160. Vincent Hermance on 150. I believe that is going to be the scores.
So whilst our system does a little bit of an update, we could just sort of almost pinch ourselves and take a little bit look back. There we go.
As I
It
said,
is a 170 there. Vladar Mas is working right back in the commentary box here. Matt
about as
Payne
good as
and
my maths
Andre
ever
Burton
gets.
with you here, and we're going to be continue to bring you all the action now. Marty needs to pick himself quite literally back up off the floor.
Yeah.
He's not having a good day at the office, is he?
No, he's not. He's not. I know he's capable of riding incredibly well. So let's see. And he hasn't performed as well as I know that he can perform normally. This is interesting. I actually didn't think this was possible, but he's managed to get to that position. It's so steep for the bike there, and they're going to give him one for that. I'm not sure. Was he clean?
No,
Maybe he's
those
clean.
hands,
Okay.
those hands are clenched firmly together, aren't they, by our commissar?
Oh, Marty! That was a silly mistake. I think he just didn't let go of the brake enough.
And
That is
so much, I think there's just so much pressure on him, isn't there, now, after having such a great run, number one. I mean, he cleaned the first section, and then 30, 20, and
Look at that. He's just. Oh, I think the problem is here. His head's lost the game. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of out of his little competition bubble, and it's such a shame. Such a shame.
And the thing is now, because he's lost so much there, he really is. He almost can't get back to the top, no matter what the rest of them do. Surely there's no way back. He's just got to take the experience and enjoy the competition.
Oh, yes, Oliver! Okay, so we actually saw Marty approaching that from a slightly different angle, because Marty went up, around, and back. A slightly more complicated route. But here we go. Oliver Widman making light work of that first gate. He is a left foot. This is a very awkward line. Yes, look at that. Lovely, very nice. And then being really, really confident on that move as well. He's going to spin around for this gate.
And why go round?
Why go round? Because he's left-footed, so actually it's slightly better for him to lean into the right-hand side. Gives him more clearance with his right pedal being at the back, so that there's more space to move the bike up onto that. And he's already through that next gate as well. So 30 points so far for Oliver Widman. He's back on the top spot for the time being. Here we go. Fast work of that hook. Straight through there, really close with the gates. Going for this next move. 1, 2, backwards, dropping through that. The commentators there just talking to each other, saying, yeah, it was close, but we're going to give it to him. Here we go. Now this very awkward hook. Oh yeah, he's done it. Oh, that was close. I thought he was going to slide backwards then. Back tie was just on it. 30 seconds left. He's on 40 points. There we go. Through section, or through gate 5.
He's out.
He's, unfortunately, there is... Oh, Oliver. Yeah, so what he's done there, you can see the rope coming down the side of that. That's the section tape. You're not allowed to cross that horizontal line. So what he should have done is gone back up to the high right-hand side and then gapped across. Technically, no more difficult than what he just did, but he hasn't walked the section properly.
Oh,
you do see this
that again, because that was
it.
so key.
Ollie, Ollie, Ollie.
He made light work of this, and then but
Unbelievable.
we've seen those mistakes. It happens, doesn't it?
It does. And he was looking just so strong. I have no doubt he was on his way to getting out of that section. But his coach there, Carol, was going to be saying to him, forget about it, it's done. Last section, concentrate now. So here we go. Noah Cordona rolling in for section 4. Big pedal up, making it look very, very simple. Going slightly different way backwards through that marker, and that's because he's right-footed, so it's easier for him to pivot up on the front wheel to the left. And then, of course, on a trials bike, as a trials rider, you could drop backwards, forward, sideways, whatever you want, no problem. Oh, no! He's off to the side.
Just 1 foot down the no.
Guys, that's a 5. He came completely over the side there. That is upsetting for Noah.
Do you know, we saw the start here on this section. It looked good. Yeah, I mean, we saw, Oliver come into this, and it looked like, this is going to be easy. Mike came in, and
fortunately, Oliver still got 40 points on that section.
Yeah, but that's the biggest score so far. So we're not seeing quite as straightforward as maybe we thought. And this section with this palm tree surface, it's catching the riders out, I think, maybe more than we would have expected.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's very easy to go wrong. Like we were saying, it's kind of bristly. So Vincent there just dropping off over the other side, going around to the other approach. There we go. So Vincent, as he started this section, was 50 points behind Oliver. So he needs 50 or more to jump ahead of Oliver now. So he knows he's going to have to stay nice and steady. It's going to be interesting to see what he does here. He's right-footed. I thought he would have gone for the run-up approach, but he's going for switch foot. Oh yes, he did it switch foot. So he's spun round to his opposite foot to go over that move. Very, very, very hard. That is experience. I've known Vincent for a long time, and I know that he's trained that a lot.
And that's not natural, is it? That's something he's really worked on.
I mean, it's literally, imagine throwing a ball as far as you can with your right hand, and then putting it in your bad hand, your left hand, and throwing it just as far. It's that kind of thing, or playing tennis with your wrong hand. That's what it's like. It's honestly, it's so strange. It's ridiculous.
Well, it just shows that it's.
Let's see what's happening here. Vincent out of the section. What happened there?
They gave him a mark on that there.
They gave him a mark on there because he just scraped his pedal on the way through there. So unfortunately, that's 10 points for Vincent on that section 4.
This is really going to chase.
This is unbelievable. What's going on?
So we've got 160 points for Vincent. Danny Baron's on 150.
So Danny knows now that, come on, he can get this. Come on, Danny. And Danny's left-footed. So is Jack. So it's pretty good for these guys, this particular move. So, well, I say that. It's literally commentator's curse. I'm just going to shut up from now on.
And
2 points.
Now he's there. He's
on 3 points.
You said this was an easy run. He's on 3 points.
Well, yeah. I mean,
this competition it's suddenly, all of a sudden, it's just crumbling.
I think they're just losing it. The heat's getting to them.
It's getting cooler. Maybe it's because the temperature's dropping.
It's not hot enough. I mean, Danny's actually from Madrid, so it is pretty warm there most of the time.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, front to back. So Danny so far 20 points on this section. So he's jumped ahead. He should jump ahead of Vincent, I believe, in the ranking at the moment.
But he's on 170 points. He's just really heading into last chance saloon, isn't he? Because he's got 3 red flags at the moment. There's 3 red marks against him.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter as long as he can actually clean the next moves. He doesn't need the points, but he's got less of a backup for these movements. So This one here. Whoa, yes. That was lucky. That was very lucky. He managed to hold out very nicely. So this is where Oliver should have gone through this line. Oliver went to the left-hand side.
Oliver's going to be kicking himself because he's just seen that move being done.
I've seen it happen a lot. That's why you need to walk the section so much. Really pay attention. And flying up that is a very, very big move to back wheel. Danny just flying up that. He's got 13 seconds left. This is the last move of the section, which will give him 50 points to put him into a solid, I think a solid second place. Yeah, just moved up to second, I believe. Oh, great ride from Danny there. So, at the moment, Danny and Oliver both on 200. Oliver Whitman just staying ahead. Let's work this out.
So Whitman just ahead because of that 60 points in that first run, that clean first run for him. At the moment paying off, that's why he, even though he's tied on points, just ahead, then losing 10 points in every single section. It's Danny Barron, very, very close, and a good run by him. But he's like, you can see he knows that could have been the top there, but here we go, Jack Carthy, defending champion.
On gate number 2 already, I'm guessing, he's cleaned gate number 1, and no worries through that gate there. Here we go. Now, this should be good for Jack. Oh, but you know what? I'm going to take that back.
Don't say a word here.
Who knows what's going to happen?
We've cursed everything so far on the way through.
Look at this. So, straight through front of back. This is good so far. Flying through, 30 seconds gone. He's right the way down the bar, and of course making his way back now through gate number 4. Hooking that front wheel. From that other view, you can just see he's got to put that front wheel right next to the marker.
No room for error whatsoever, is there on that?
No room at all. So he's going to do the kind of backwards idea here. Back wheel straight the way through.
And the spatial awareness to know exactly where the centre line of that bike is whilst flying through the air, backwards coming off that
when you do moves like that, you're
down.
kind of going to back and you look down and look at the mark and you're like, my back axle's there, my back axle's there, and I'm back through, okay. It's kind of, and look at that, holding his balance. And he's just switched the back wheel and flown through. Didn't even need to drop off to the left and come round. So 38 seconds left and he's on to the last gate. This is a really, really big pedal up, but I get the feeling he's going to make it look pretty simple. Yeah. There's only a handful of people that are going to be able to do that move, and he's just casually done it, you know?
It's like you said, just out for a little ride in the park.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have a little roll through. Look at that.
60 points.
60 points. The man is absolutely unstoppable at the moment.
Here we go. Who would have thought?
I don't know. I'm hoping he's breathing hard at the end of that one, because you can just see that's put the pressure on. 230 points now. So a clear lead for Jack Carthy with one more section to go.
A 30 point lead going into the last section. So he could just kind of.
Now, without giving you any spoilers, because we have seen some incredible things happen in this last section earlier on. Jack Carthy's in the driving seat, 30 points clear. Behind that battle is very close. No point difference between second and third place, the silver and bronze medal positions at the moment. But this is something else again. We've got the water, we've got the sand, we've got the rocks, and on top of all that, this is the very final section, and everyone are going to be feeling the pressure. They're going to feel that the moves before they get into the end, they know that this has got to be nailed. So it all culminates with this.
Absolutely, it's going to come down to this. And so far, although Jack's got quite a big lead, he can still ride in and slip, because this section has got sand, water, nightmare, rocks. So you've got to be really, really accurate. I mean, anything could happen here. So we just really don't know. And it's just going to be so tough.
And the previous sections have not been a predictor for what happens, particularly on these rocks.
No, not at all. So this really can change everything. We have seen from earlier on, which we won't spoil. I'll show you in case you haven't watched the women on 20 inch. You should check those out. Marcy going for this now. Look, the tyre's struggling, the tyre's sliding back.
Hey, I tell you, that was some landing though, coming back down again. He managed to plant it on the way down and recover. Goes to the one.
He's just managed to keep the wheels in the line. There we go. Oh no! Oh, his back brake just totally gave way there, I think.
and landed just on that rock, which is okay there.
So once you've
Used
been
to
in the
coming off.
water, because in a 20-inch you have disc brakes on the rear, and on the 26, you know, you have rim brakes on the back. And once you go in the water and a bit of sand and everything, the brake is just a different brake. So you can't kind of be slack. You can't kind of just throw it and know that the brake's going to hold you. You have to land perfectly. And I think he just kind of leaped out slightly there.
I think a final to forget really there for Marty. A brilliant job done. The first section was clean, and that's what he's got to focus on, isn't it? You could see him struggling with the grip, struggling to hold this. And there's hardly a flat surface on there, is there? It's all cambered away, really, from where you want it almost to be on here. And we've seen so many people struggle on here. And then the wheel just slid out. And the reason for the rim brake is because of that extra wheel size. You get that, you get that extra leverage on the brake if it's on the disc brake. So you do need to have the rim brake on there.
Yeah, absolutely. So with a 20-inch wheel, it's a lot more rigid. There's not as much movement at all. Whereas on a 26, if you have a disc, you get all that rotational force movement, and it just feels very unsteady on the back wheel. It doesn't have the same stopping power. Now, Ollie could be on for the best result he's ever going to have here in the elite category.
To date.
He is on to date, and it's going to keep improving. But yeah, he's well and truly on for a podium position. So let's hope. I mean, I really hope he does well here. Come on, Ollie. Keep it together. Very focused. He's trained so hard this year. I really want to see him do well. Come on. You can see his back wheel is a little bit off there, but his back wheel is just sliding all over the place on these rocks. So you can see there, and that's over.
Yeah.
Just 20 points on this section. He's going to be seriously annoyed with that.
So 2 lots of 20 points from the last section. This waterfall feature is so key to this last section, and if people can get past it, it's not easy afterwards, is it? But no, it is still going to be just that little bit easier. If you can get past it, it could make the difference.
So far, looking at the scores, if Vincent can get through this on 60 points, he could potentially take
a medal position.
He could overtake Oliver and push Oliver out with the medals if Vincent manages to get through that section on 60 points. So, you know, pressure's on. No pressure, Vincent.
No pressure. We want a perfect run on what is the real crux of the whole section. You know, this is the toughest section in the toughest moves at the end of the competition, so they really have made this very difficult indeed, haven't they?
I mean, Vincent's going to need at least 40 points on this section to have any chance of getting up onto the podium in this. So,
whoa. Just say something.
I mean,
Jack is having a real look around there, isn't he? So here we are.
Jack knows that this is the section that is very important. Very important indeed. So Noah Cordona here to Danny Paramont's fishing boat, and here we go through the water.
Keeps the front wheel out there, keeps the front wheel driver, can't do that with the back, can't levitate across it.
Exactly. So yeah, you've got to keep the front wheel out to keep as much friction and keep it as clean as possible, and actually leave your front brake working essentially as best you can. So this is all very technical, tight manoeuvring, slippery rocks, as we've seen. So making his way right the way back down to the sand. Now, we haven't seen any riders get through this gate clean yet. Let's see if Noah Cordona is the man to do it. So I was pretty excited to see how this particular move would plan out. Look at that little point. Oh! Front wheel straight out, that's a 5, so 20 points for Noah Cordona on that section.
He's letting him go.
That's very interesting. From this angle it looked out, but I guess it's still in.
Through.
Oh,
that's going to bear a look again, isn't it? Because that was so close.
Now we get our first look at gate number 4. Now gate number 4, really difficult. You can't clearly make it out from here, but coming out of the sand like this is kind of I tell you what, he has done incredibly well there, but he just missed 4B, which is actually just down that rock face. He wasn't planning on this. He's got to quickly figure out how to get through this. He's going to go that backwards technique again, put the front wheel out to the side. 155 to try and get this move.
Nope,
They haven't given us
time. No,
Yeah,
you just see
haven't
the wave
given
there from the commissaire, from the
30
referees.
30 points for Noah there in the last section, waving to the crowd.
Best score in that last section. He moves ahead of Marty Vereda as he goes into what is currently 5th position. But remember, we've still got to see the guys that make the way through. And of course, at the moment, the man in the pole position, he is Jack Carthy, 230 points. Great run by Noah here, and didn't panic when he came off and didn't quite get the drop down on that gate 4B. Had to come back in and over.
Yeah.
He
It's a
went
shame
back in.
because he could have had another 10 points, but let's just check the scores. I'm not sure it would have made much of a difference. Vincent through this first gate, so 10 points already for Vincent. Now remember, he's going to be looking for at least 40 points. So it's really important he makes that gate number 3 crux move. So,
and then get through 4, and then hopefully can then score some more. But he's got to get there.
I'll tell you what though, he's really good on rocks. I mean, obviously he's such an experienced rider. I mean, he's been riding since he was like 3, so that's about 45 years. But he's really where he trains. He lives in Paris, and where he trains is very natural, very slippery, or can be very slippery rock. So I think if anyone's got a good chance here, I think it could be Vincent. So I'm intrigued to see what he does here. I'll tell you what, he's gone for. No!
Game over. Game over.
Oh my God!
He sat down there.
Vince. So Vincent, that means Vincent's off the podium, and Oliver Widman is guaranteed a medal today. Which, on a personal note, I'm glad Captain Smooth is in the medals. Yes.
Gutted for Vincent there.
I am gutted
he
for
was
Vincent.
he was in with the
Gutted
chance.
for Vincent.
He needed 40. He got 20. You've got no scoring 30 is the highest scorer, but he's right down in the rankings overall. And really now, Danny Barron and Jack Carthy going to be fighting it out.
Yeah, I mean,
for
if
those medals.
Danny Barron could have a really good ride here, and then Jack could still come out and go completely wrong, and Danny could be in first place. So, you know,
it's not doable, because we've seen how hard this is. With 30 points, if everybody was completing the sections, you say, okay, it's in the bag pretty much. But then no, we're seeing 10s, 20s, 30s.
Yeah,
this is
silly
not
mistakes.
big.
Yeah, you've got to stay so concentrated and be absolutely perfect all the time. So come on, Danny. Here we go. Keep the pressure on. He knows he's going to get a medal. What colour is it going to be? Can he win that rather nice white top this year? Here we go. 20 points as he makes his way. So this is actually, I'll just explain quickly, probably should have done this earlier, but gate 3 here, you've seen those first 2 yellow markers that he's already gone through and looped around. That's A and B. So you've got 3A, 3B, then he's going to go through 3C, which is the next one at the bottom of the next rock, and then 3C, then 3D, which is the other side of the rock. So you've got to get through all of those elements clean. Oh, yes, it's Danny! Come on, Danny!
Smooth as,
yes.
look at that.
Yes. Oh my God, amazing.
This is going to be
And he's
pushing.
through 4 as well. Oh my God, I've never seen him so focused. This is absolutely fantastic, Danny. That was amazing. Did you see that? Textbook, just absolute 100% commitment.
Look at
50
this.
points.
42, 50. It's racking up here. Can he clean this on the way through? Can he get 260? It's going to put the pressure on Jack Carthy.
Yeah. Here we go. Hook into back wheel. This huge gap across to the front tyre. Finish it with an amazing tower in the background. Has he got it? He's got it. 60 points. Oh, amazing, Danny.
Oh, what a pull out at the end there.
Minimum second. Look at that. He's 30 points clear of Jack.
I think Jack's hoping you're wishing he had a way of drying that off some
Jack
more.
now knows that he's got to clear gate 3. The tricky one that we've seen 4 out of the 6 riders already fall off of.
That could be a gold medal winning run. He's put it
That's
on
incredible.
there. That is
60
fantastic.
points, Danny. Amazing.
The only run that he has cleaned, he's dropped 10 points on every single section before this, and yet
the
through
one
here,
the one that nobody else has got through yet, 60 points. I mean,
so
this
random.
is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, Jack needs to get through that incredibly difficult line. That is amazing, absolutely amazing, Danny. He is just absolutely on fire. Come on. Here we go. So yeah, 30 points. 30 points.
So Jack out on course. This is for a medal. What colour will it be for Jack Carthy? He's currently in the second place position. He's got to score more than 30, and where he's got to get past is where we've been seeing all of those issues here today.
Yeah. And this is really interesting because it doesn't come down to sort of big power moves to finish. It's literally just going to have to be spot on perfect with your wheel placements the whole way through.
Here we are. This is that critical section. He's coming in from A and B, coming across. Andre, talk us through this.
So he's going for a slightly different approach to Danny here. He's going for the approach that actually we've seen the other guys not try and fail. So Jack's going to have to be really, really on it here. Danny is, he's going to be incredibly nervous.
Oh, he's back down. He's back down. This
He's doing it. He's doing it. I wondered if he might do this. So he knows
he's going to give away points
if he
to
can
get over
through
the
this.
top.
If he can get through this and get through the next markers.
But he's so out of position. Surely this is really, really tactical riding, isn't it?
Very, very tactical. He wants that. He wants that jersey. Now, if he can clear this gate now,
he's 10 points off. He's got 360 points in the bag.
Yeah. So he has to clear this to win. Oh, this is nail-biting stuff.
It comes down to this. He's hesitating.
Okay.
He's giving away another one. He's trying to scratch out the win here, and he's doing it.
I think Danny Baron might be.
They can hardly watch. It's down to, he's on 4 red
He's
marks.
got to clean this gate.
One more touch, he's in trouble.
And that's 30 points.
It's going to be
another. Oh my God, Jack, did he just get 40?
He cleans it all the way through.
Oh my God, Danny! Oh my God, that was an up and down. Oh, bloody hell! Well done, Jack. Oh my God! What? I told you 10 times he wants.
That is 5. Apologies there for the late. I can't quite believe it here. We just couldn't believe what we were seeing on the way through. That was some run by Jack Carthy. Jack Carthy had to get tactical. He had to be smart. He played it smart. It might not have been the prettiest run he's ever done, but I tell you something, that means so much to him. And you've got to feel that Danny Baron, he got a perfect run in at the end. He didn't quite do enough to take away gold, but you know what? That was some run to the finish.
Unbelievable. So Jack has won more Elite 26 titles than anybody ever. And look at this, the last move, just straight up. He's like, whatever, I'm going. Oh my God. That, I really feel for Danny Baron there, because that was the ride of his life in that last section for Danny.
He was so consistent. I mean, he scored 50, 50, 50, 50, 60, and he put it in at the end, and then you've got 60, 50, 60, 60, and then a 30 from Jack because of that move over the waterfall. And once he committed to putting his foot down, he left at the last minute. One mistake, he was on 4 reds. You know, that is gambling of the highest caliber there. I wouldn't want to play poker with that man.
Absolutely wow. Unbelievable. Well, Charlotte and his son Miles will be at home ecstatic with that. He's got a little, nearly 5 years old now, his son, which is pretty mad. And there's 8 times former 20-inch world champion Benito Ross just saying congratulations.
Well, I tell you something, they do know exactly how it is, how hard it is to win, and that was as close as it gets. That doesn't get any closer than that. And you can see.
Look at that.
Now, just taking a look there, I mean, you can see he's gone through. Now, we're having a 260 showing up on the scoreboard there. We thought he came across the line with 270 on there. It looks to me like he's had 10 taken off, but it doesn't matter because he's got 360s to Danny's single 60. So even with that 10 taken off, and that looks like there's been either a recalculation on the way through.
I thought
he had a 40 at the end. It's taken down to a 30, and it doesn't matter because he scored. He still won.
But Danny, come on, like, honestly, both of those two. What a show. And Oliver Widman smoothly into third place.
And so smooth
Incredible.
initially, and then it all just went so wrong on that last one. I mean, he started up at the top and he rolled downwards on those points, but still managed to stay inside the podium there, finishing some 30 points clear of Vincent Hermans in third place.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible riding. Let's have a little recap of some of these epic moments. Incredible riding from these athletes.
And this, I mean, Jack, he started in real style. He absolutely flew around here, and for a winning run, you'd want to put together some amazing runs. And some of these sections, when he came up on to the UCI sections with that big
Oh,
hook up,
that's just
I mean,
unbelievable.
he went at it so fast.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's like somebody strapped nitrox to the back of the bike.
It's just a different. It's like just a different section, isn't it? It was like he was riding something else. Here we go. We're seeing all these moments from Jack. So this is the moment. Look at this. There, straight up, back wheel, drops down, starts pedaling, lifts straight up, and he just rolled up. Like, I don't know.
What were you worried about, guys? This is just.
Yeah. What are you talking about? And there's the hook up to back wheel. Not even remotely not going to make that. Unbelievable.
Well, fantastic riding here by Jack Carthy. But I have to say, he made us really wonder, didn't he, as we came through. He was looking so good. He'd only got 10 points in the first 4 sections, and it's done so smoothly. I mean, that focus as he comes in, he was riding absolutely out of his skin, but then on to the rocks. Absolutely making things so nail-biting there. And he's going to be, I think, really relieved, but we will find out, because we're going to catch up with your champion. It is Jack Carthy.
So, Jack, congratulations, 5 times world champion. You've got to be feeling pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I'm really happy about it. To be honest, the course wasn't my style at all. The level of it was too small, so I couldn't make a margin. So I thought I'd go old school and try go 2 wheels, and even use a few dabs what I had done on me coming up in my career. So I thought I'd do it to these new young uns. So yeah, no, I'm really happy to take my 5th one. I mean, it's my 10th world title in all of them. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm in double figures now, so I'm going to keep going.
So, going into that last section, that must have been feeling a bit tense going into that. Can you talk us through it?
Yeah, it definitely looked probably intense, but before I even started, I already had plans to take the one on that one, because I just thought, what's the point risking it, giving it away? I've done that too many times in my career, passed them away, give them to the next place by just being stupid. So I just thought, right, I'll try use my head now. I'm getting a bit older.
And what effect did the sand and the water in the course have, apart from the fact you say it's a bit small for you?
Yeah, the sand. For me, the sand were a nightmare, because like I'm probably one of the fastest riders on the circuit, and basically it took away my advantage, and then everyone ended up like the same speed because of the sand. So same again, it just made it harder for me. No one else really, I don't think, for winning.
Well, congratulations, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next year.
Yes, thank you.
Well, great to hear from Jack there, and maybe all of that time training up in Yorkshire, the Greater Republic of Yorkshire, pretty much within the UK. It's certainly a county that sees itself almost as a nation. In fact, at the Olympics, it won as many medals as Australia one year. There you go.
Really?
That's a random fact about Yorkshire for the day.
Must be something in the blood.
It's something in the water, I think, and there was something in the water out there. Jack, though, saying it had been done to him, scraping that, and you've got to say, I mean, great results on the way through for all of these riders, and feel absolutely gutted and yet elated really by Danny Barron's ride. I mean, he'd not been able to put together a clean run right the way through the competition. You can see here there was just,
for me, Danny Barron, absolute hero. Like, incredible riding, mate. Just incredible. Absolutely rode his heart out. You know, really pushed. Absolutely incredible. So we want to hear some words from the man in 2nd place, vice world champion for 2022. So we're going to go over to Danny Barron.
Okay, congratulations, second place. Must have been pretty exciting when you were in the 5th section there. Did you really think you might take Jack on?
Yeah, of course. There was a moment that I thought that I would win the rainbow jersey, but well, the thing is that I've done an incredible season. I started this competition a little bit off the pace and with a fail in the first section, but yeah, I'm really happy with my performance and of course with the last section.
So now you got your second place on the podium. Is that's your first World Championship podium?
Yeah, it's my first World Championship podium, and yeah, even it's my first final in a World Championship, because last year I was first year of elite and I was 9th, so I didn't make it into the finals. So this is a great result.
Okay, well, congratulations and good luck for next year.
Thank you so much.
Well, great to hear from Danny down there, and pulled it out. And looking at that last section, he scored twice as many points as anybody else on that section, going through clean.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, yeah, that's nuts. That's a really hard section, and he not only like cleaned it, but he was, like you say, double the points of anybody else, including Jack Carthy, who is now 5 times world champion.
Indeed, and it is just about those points. Had he not dropped any one of those previous sections, not dropped 10 points, it would have made all the difference here. So we're going to have a little catch up on the action early on. So if you haven't seen the 20-inch competition, time to look away. If you did, you'll know just how exciting it was. I mean, we saw some impressive riding in our 20-inch competition, and I've got to say, really, really interesting to see the difference technique.
Yeah, the difference in technique between 20 and 26 is pretty vast. I think these sections were maybe slightly better for the 20s. Very, very technical, tight kind of manoeuvring. But they did incredible. They did really, really, really well. And Aloy absolutely riding his heart out. Incredible for him to be world champion.
Great riding, and the elation of that win, and the way he rode to get through, to take that. I mean, he dropped so few points. I mean, it was 10-point drop all the way through on the way through that. Fantastic score.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Only dropping 10 points. So overall, between the two categories, Aloy well and truly out ahead of everybody there. Really incredible, and an incredible ride for Oliver Widman, smoothly into 3rd place, doing so well. He's going to be absolutely over the moon, I can tell you.
Over the moon, and it was great to see Danny Barron so happy. I mean, as he said, not making the finals previously, he comes in and he challenged and he pulled it out, and that really does mean that Jack Carthy knows he's up against it. I mean, the competition is tough anyway. It's really, really tough out there. But Danny Barron, if he can continue the way that he pulled this out at the end and get the only clean run on the way through, he's got to be on a roll, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, that's going to give Danny and all the other riders a lot more confidence now to be like, yeah, we can. They can get on that podium. You know, Oliver knows that it's going to be possible for him to push harder for next season. Like you said, next season we're going to be up in Glasgow, and which is going to be very interesting. It's going to be nice for it to be back in the UK, and I really hope it's going to do wonders for trials in general in the UK, and keep pushing the sport forwards quite a lot more.
Yeah, here at the Urban World Championships, we're here in Abu Dhabi. We'll be back here in 2 years' time. In between, we're going to head into Glasgow, and we're going to see Jack Carthy going out, and no doubt looking to impress on home coming from the north of England, going to be going up into Scotland for those World Championships. Today, he did exactly what he needed. He knew what he had to do. He had a plan. He knew in his head he was going to go out and make sure he got that win. He wasn't going to gamble it, and it resulted in a fantastic win here today. And
unbelievable.
Great to see the competition between these guys as they've come in to the end of the competition it was all being pushed and pushed, and it ended up in that crescendo up at the end, so on the limit. But an amazing venue and an amazing setting for
incredible
the
setting,
World
yeah.
Championships. And
Lovely.
I mean, the sun has gone down, and our riders are going to be getting ready for the podiums. What a ride by our riders who have been in the finals and got medals. But what riding have we seen all the way through the trials competition in a great course? And I think there's got to be a lot of credit to the guys who set the course and built the course there.
Yeah, I mean, I've built my own competitions on the highest level as well with the best riders in the world, and it's not easy. It's really not easy to create something that visually looks good and is also a real challenge for the riders to get the right levels and have enough options for every, especially here because we have Junior 20, Junior 26, we have women, and then the Elite 20 and Elite 26. So you have to have a huge amount of different options, and throughout the semi-finals and finals for all the categories. So to create a venue like that is very difficult, and as you can see, it just looks absolutely stunning. We've got a great backdrop. I mean, obviously the weather's going to be absolutely amazing over here, and yeah, it's a really nice setting. I think everybody's pretty much really enjoyed their trip out here, and they're definitely going to be looking forward to coming back in 2024. I'm definitely looking forward to it, whatever capacity. I don't know if I'll still be riding, hopefully, maybe.
You're not that old yet, mate.
Well,
You're not that old.
I'm not as old as Vincent, so I'm just going to keep going.
I hate to break it to you, nobody as old as Vincent.
Well,
amazing out there. It's great to see just how much work has been put in, how amazing with the trials here, and the whole setup from the guys in the background. I mean, what we see is a small part of
absolutely
the actual background. So all of the team logistics, the team HQ, the tents in the background, just getting water to everybody, having that practice arena. There's a whole practice trial section in there, and then to be able to get the arena set out in such a way that we've seen all of this action, and then to have it culminate and really build to a crescendo. I'm sure the organisers and I'm sure the course setters couldn't have written that script in any of the 3 trials categories that we've covered, and of course in the juniors who were on earlier on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think they're going to be very, very happy with themselves. And it's been a really nice mix. I mean, we've got a big variety of things to ride here, and like Danny said, like Danny Paramount said in the start there, where he showed some of the course, it's things that riders, we've never ridden this exact stuff before, so it's nice to come here, and like the logs from the palm trees have been absolutely fantastic. It's a new element that we know nobody's ridden before, so yeah, it's been really cool. I think they've done a great job. It looks nice to look at, and that's half of it, isn't it? Like having a nice setting to show our sport in the best way. So big thanks to the organisers for doing that.
And great to see the sport showcasing itself so well, and great work done by the riders, by the teams, by the backup crews. It really has been a day where all of that preparation and the training has paid off, but it's paid off the most for our medalists. Not long before we go over to our podiums and over to the medal ceremonies, and when we do, we're going to have our men's 20-inch and our men's 26-inch top 3 riders up there, and we're going to see 2 more World Championship jerseys awarded. And I tell you something, it's something that no matter what rider and what discipline you cover, I'm lucky enough to see a lot of these. Every single rider wants that jersey. So here we go.
Always.
It is the podium, the medal ceremonies for the UCI 2022 Urban Cycling World Championships. Are men's elite podiums with the men's elite 20-inch and 26-inch trials competitions coming to their conclusion here after some really tough rounds on the way through. So we're going to kick off with the trials men's elite 20-inch award ceremony. So we're going to be bringing up the podium presentation party up on to the stage, and our top 3 riders here today.
أبو ظبي UCI 2022 للتجارب الحرة فريستايل رجال 20 إنش.
So for some riders, this is when it really does sink in that they've made it, that they've got up on to a medals table and up on to the podium.
Yeah, so a clean sweep for the Spanish team in the 20-inch category. They're going to be very, very happy.
The medals and jersey will be presented by Mr. Jose Luis Serron, the UCI Management Committee member and president of the Trials Commission.
سيتم تقديم الميداليات والقميص من قبل السيد خوسيه لويس سيريون عضو مجلس إدارة UCI ورئيس لجنة الحكام.
In third place and winner of the bronze medal representing Spain.
في المركز الثالث والفائز بالميدالية البرونزية ممثلا عن إسبانيا
Boca Conejos. In second place and winner of the silver medal representing Spain.
في المركز الثاني والفائز بالميدالية الفضية ممثلا عن إسبانيا
Alejandro Montalvo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, in first place, your UCI World Champion and winner of the gold medal, also representing Spain.
في المركز الأول وبطل العالم في UCI والفائز بالميدالية الذهبية من إسبانيا
Eloy Payal.
So the iconic jersey with those rainbow bands being pulled on after an amazing ride on his way through an almost perfect score. As you can see the handshake, he steps up onto the top step of the podium, all smiles and no surprises.
Presented by His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Rashid Al Hadi, Director General of Abu Dhabi Housing Authority.
سيقوم بتقديم الزهور سعادة الدكتور محمد راشد الهاضمي مدير عام هيئة أبو ظبي للإسكان.
So fortunately our medalist grip stronger on the brakes rather than on the flowers as they're presented with those traditional flowers there, and great to see the others on the podium all smiles. You can imagine that they would have all wanted to be on that top step, not to be today. And the defending champion of the three probably looking the least impressed, I think, about not taking that win, and understandably so. I mean, he came here and I think he really thought it could have been his.
Yeah, I think Borco and Montalvo both know that it's very possible for them to win the World Championships. Of course, at least Borco's won it once. Montalvo, oh, he was so close, unbelievable.
So we're going to hear the national anthem of Spain, which is very appropriate with a whitewash on the podium by all Spanish riders.
It's a 1, 2, 3 for Spain.
إلى من جديد لأنه صفقة أكيد للفائزين
So great to see our top three men up there. A Spanish 1, 2, 3, but the world champion Eli Palau taking away the rainbow jersey, taking away that gold medal, and they'll begin their photo or duties as our medalists, and of course it will be Blau who's going to be wearing that jersey. He's got to defend it though out in.
I mean, at least he's going to wear it every day for the next what?
He wants
nearly a year until what is it, mid-August next year?
Yeah, he gets a little bit extra time, won't he, until we get to August on the way through. So we're going to see how he gets on with that. I'm sure he's probably going to go to bed and sleep in it. Most people have a habit of doing that on the way through. So. I think I would, and I'm sure you would as well, Andre, if we were ever in the chance of that. So great to see our medalists heading off, and no doubt the interviews will start, and then there will be celebrating. Well, at least one of them will be on the way through, but I mean, Palau did a great job and such a run. I mean, to just drop 10 points, it can't be overstated, can it, how incredible that is on a course that saw finalists dropping a lot of points. I mean, at the end of that, there was a 140-point difference from being at the top of the standings to the bottom of the standings. That's a big margin.
It's a huge margin over only 5 sections. I mean, that's half the points available, isn't it? So yeah, absolutely incredible. To only drop 10 points is really something else.
It is, and quite rightly celebrated and enjoying his win. He was so over the moon, and really he knew he was so close, and taking that win at the end. So we're going to move on from our 20-inch to our 26-inch trials men's elite ceremony, and the award ceremony. Going to bring on the riders who we've just seen in action here in Abu Dhabi for the 2022 Urban Cycling World Championships in that trials men's elite 26-inch category. So our riders just being ready. They're going to be up on to the stage very shortly. This is the final medal ceremony of today's action here at the championship. Don't forget, of course, there has been some amazing action, and it's all because we've been hosted in such fantastic settings here in Abu Dhabi. As the presentation party makes way up on to the stage, your top 3 riders here, and that's going to be great to see their reactions. I think 3 happy riders on the podium.
Very happy indeed.
By Mr. Jose Luis Soron of the UCI Management Committee, member and president of the Trials Commission.
سيتم تقديم الميداليات والقميص من قبل السيد خوزيه لويس ريون عضو مجلس إدارة UCI ورئيس لجنة الحكام.
In third place and winner of the bronze medal representing Germany.
في المركز الثالث والفائز بالميدالية البرونزية ممثلا عن ألمانيا.
Oliver Wittmar. In second place and winner of the silver medal representing Spain.
في المركز الثاني والفائز بالميدالية الفضية ممثلا عن إسبانيا.
Daniel Barot. And now, ladies and gentlemen, in first place, your UCI World Champion and winner of the gold medal representing Great Britain.
في المركز الأول بطل العالم في UCI والفائز بالميدالية الذهبية ممثلا عن بريطانيا.
Jack Carthy.
So Jack Carthy from Great Britain takes the win here today, becomes our world champion. repeating his win of last year and in many previous years. And I think the only time that he lost out back in 2019, probably only serving to spur him on even more after not taking the win that year and getting the congratulations of the riders around him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think 2019 just spurred him on that much more to not make any mistakes, and that probably made him win actually here today, because instead of trying to go for the a clean sweep on that last section, he played it safe and made sure what he was doing to win his title again.
That's Dr. Mohammed Rashid Al Hamli, the Director General of the Abu Dhabi Housing Association, hands out the flowers here to our medalists. You can see that the riders are really happy there. We've got Oliver Widman, they're taking away that third place winner with that bronze medal. And of course, then you've got Danny there, Danny Brown, taking away a silver medal, and absolutely ecstatic with that.
Absolutely ecstatic, and he was so close to winning. Unbelievable. So close.
By the smallest of margins, but Jack Carthy, the world champion for 2022.
In honour of our new UCI world champion, we present the national anthem of Great Britain.
سيداتي وسادتي، تكريما لبطلنا العالمي الجديد في UCI، نقدم النشيد الوطني لبريطانيا.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honour of our new UCI World Champion, let's give a round of applause for all our medalists, Great Britain, Spain and Germany.
دعونا نرحب بأبطال العالم من بريطانيا، إسبانيا وألمانيا.
So your top three riders up on the stage. Oliver Widman of Germany taking the bronze medal. Danny Barron of Spain taking the silver, but the gold medal and the world champions jersey back on to Jack Carthy, and Jack knows exactly what to do, and great to see the result here today, bringing new people up on the podium there, Andre.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Danny Baronis' first, is actually for Danny Baron, it's his first final and first podium in the Elite World Championships.
What a way to do it, and nearly take the win.
Yeah, I know, unbelievable, unbelievable. And then, yeah, Oliver, first time on the podium as well, so absolutely fantastic. And Jack there taking his 5th World Elite title, which is absolutely incredible, and his 10th overall title.
So here at the 2022 UCI Urban Cycling World Championships, we've witnessed some great finals in here in the trials competition. A massive thank you to Andre Burton from me, Matt Payne. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Matt. It's been a pleasure to be here, and thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope you've really enjoyed it.
We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody. It's been fantastic.